nah. Yeah, I know what people talking about. I'll try to play it in a second. I'll just go to my page. So anyway, you know, unfortunately, I think a lot of people thought that the issues between Offset and QC would have been solved now that Takeoff passed away, and it's just clear like there's not much left. Well, there's only two members left of the Migos. Sometimes death brings you closer, right? In a very odd, interesting way. Sometimes it brings you closer. We saw the whole family, the whole QC family showing love. We heard about some rumors that Offset got into it with Quavo at an award show, but P broke it up. Then we saw a video of P, who's the owner of QC, walking out Offset, looked like he was playing Peacemaker, and we heard like some backstage footage. All of that kind of meant, and I took that as, well, clearly, there's some hurt feelings there, but if I'm seeing QC P, which is P who owns QC, or he just sold it, but whatever, if I'm seeing him with Offset, maybe things are getting better. Maybe they could work out whatever personal issues they had in terms of the solo career thing, that the lawsuit could get dropped, and look like maybe there's no progress, because he tweeted out, "Never thought life be this fucked up. Long live Takeoff." Then he says, "I can't drop music also." Who would be able to prevent him from dropping music? QC. So QC needs to approve, or they could decline or deny him from dropping music, or they could get it pulled down, all that type of stuff. Also, there was another tweet which I didn't get to post here, where he basically saying black people are keeping back other black people. So he clearly believes QC is trying to keep him back, not trying to prove a bunch of stuff he got going on, which is kind of sad, because I'm rooting for Offset. I'm rooting for Quavo. I hope these two eventually unite. Man, it's like, I just haven't heard any qualitative reasons why they're not cool. Like, we went on this whole rabbit hole of, oh, maybe it's because, I don't know, Offset fucked Sweetie. Then we also heard his wife, Cardi B, who basically said that's not true. We don't hear anybody but that particular rumor that came mostly from that song kind of co-signing it. I've asked some people close with QC. I'll say this: they haven't denied it, or they haven't affirmed it, which I thought that was interesting, because if it's a lie, why don't you just say it's a lie? But they didn't say either. So, but even then, let's say it's not like Sweetie is like Quavo's wife. Let's say Offset did fuck her. Is that enough to be beefing with your brother, even though, there was a time where I used to hold money back from the shows y'all went to pay him? Because, like, when they first came on the scene, he was locked up. Or when they got big on the scene, he was locked up. And they said they would keep his show money even though he was not there. So clearly they had a lot of love for each other. They all kind of explained the dynamic as more than just like people in a group. It was family. It was way bigger than friends. You know what I mean? And we saw them succeed so much with each other. I just couldn't believe that we'd be at this position where they look like they don't give a fuck about each other, or they don't care about getting back together. We heard Quavo rap about saying, well, without this guy, the Migos is dead. Like, there is no Migos without Takeoff. It looks like Offset don't want to get back in no group situation. And that's interesting. Well, that's not interesting. Well, it's kind of interesting too. But it looks like they're not even on the same page after attending the funeral, after possibly doing, maybe what could have been a tribute. It kind of just looks weird. So, I don't know, man. Now he's still also having issues. I've just always heard that, shit, it's been a bunch of stuff. Like, I heard some P and QC was focusing on Lil Baby. They kind of felt left out. That made them wanting to do some solo music to kind of keep their name up, or whatever the case is. Not all of the members of the group was down with that decision, but that still seems petty. Like, that seems like some shit that you could get over. This whole that allegedly they may have gotten almost into a physical altercation. They still haven't talked. They haven't even reunited on stage just to pay homage to Takeoff. Also, the label still is on the outs with Offset, but they love Quavo. This shit is just fucked up, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, man. I wish the best for Offset, but I do believe he's completely over that Migos situation, and I don't know if it's at the point where this is fixable. I'm gonna still think it is. I don't think it's gotten that personal yet. I'm just wondering what's taking so long, and maybe what's taking so long is maybe why Offset's in a position he's at now. I think he wanted to drop more music and do more things as the Migos, and maybe QC's focusing on Lil Baby, man. It's the Lil Baby show over there. Like Lil Baby comes over. Remember, like last year, right? Early last year, he was dropping more music than anybody. Like he was dropping 10 singles, like song every 2 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe they're focusing on him, and maybe Offset's like, yo, bro, what's going on? Let me do my solo thing. And then they're like, no, we don't want no solo thing. We want a group. I don't know what the fuck. Also, I'm wondering this, and these are the conversations that I want to kind of also expand on. I'm wondering how much P even cares about these niggas' gripes anymore. P just got $300 million off selling the label. Also, I'm wondering how that sale goes. Remember when, and if you guys haven't seen the DJ Drama interview I did on Off the Record, you guys got to go watch it. When there was a couple things why Uzi also had like a dispute with his label. Remember, Generation Now signed a big ass deal, a joint venture, and pretty much they kind of signed that deal off the fact that they had Uzi. But did Uzi get any part of that deal? Now let me bring it up to the QC. If P sells QC and gets $300 million, yes, he's selling contracts and shit like that, but ain't the artists, shouldn't they get broken off a piece? They help build the label. If you're building an intellectual property or intellectual entity like the label is, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears into building it, right? Shouldn't they get, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't get the lion's share because you put up a lot of money, but shouldn't, like, oh, here's 5% for you, 5% for you. You know what I mean? Shouldn't that happen? Did that happen? Maybe it did. I don't know. So that's kind of also interesting, because I know if I'm P, if I just got 300 million, man, I'm not going back and forth with y'all niggas no more. So I said, yes, artists should get something, but then the only thing they're doing is making music and being anti-so. Well, you got to realize, what is the label without those artists? What is the label without those catalog? When you sell a label for $300 million, you're selling the rights to those artists' future work, their past catalog. So, shit, a lot of times artists don't own a lot of that. If you're going to sell it, maybe they deserve a little bit. But some people might say this, and I'm also like, I'm countering my own take. Some people might be like, well, they own hopefully a part of their masters. They could sell their part of their masters. We're just selling the label portion. You sell part of your masters and get your money. Because we're the label, we're selling our shit to go get our money. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, Quavo's definitely releasing music. People said there's a Honey Bun song. Quavo, Honey Bun. Let's look up the lyrics.